Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is an M44, the Tier 6 American SPG, and we're on the north spawn of Serene Coast, and it's being commanded by Robbie 2009, and he's a member of HAVOC, and he sent this replay in for us after seeing our channel and subscribing to it. And I think this is going to be rather good fun. Right, he's loaded, ready to go. He's backing into the trees at the moment for cover. So he's got some good cover there, and that's it. That looks right. Right, bring up the mini-map so we can see. And there's no targets there, but we have seen a huge number of mediums actually making their way along the west route, and he's looking for the tracer from the enemy Arty. Nothing yet, but they should be firing because there's plenty of targets that they can see, but we can't see anything yet. No, there's plenty of action going on the west side. Yeah, okay, he's decided better to aim over here. Okay, Sherman 3 dialing in. Great thing about the M44 is it dials in incredibly quickly. With a good gun lane drive, you can pump in these shells really accurately and very quickly as well. And remember, it's a 155mm howitzer, so it can do considerable damage. Okay, it's loaded. Rounds out on the Panzer 38 NA. Oh, it hits the rock face, but reflects all the power, the shockwave, back onto the Panzer 38 NA and does 195 hit points of damage. And he's almost reloaded. Okay. Rounds out. Well, not sure if he hit it, but I think there's the Type 95. That Sav probably won't be sitting there again when he comes back to it, but I think he would have moved after that shell landed, thinking, no, this is too hot for me. Okay, Leopard, light tank. Rounds out. Oh, he splashed it right to the side, and it's been taken out, so he picked up the stun assist. That was a good shot. Only need to get it near the target to actually use some damage, and that Sav has lost some health, so I think he did hit it earlier. Okay, that M4 has had the impertinence to cross the railway tracks and direct hit into him. 312 hit points, but he's going to have to back away because it's getting very close, and knocking down that tree might alert the enemy Arty as to where he is, but he's hugging that rock for the moment, and now he's pulling out to take a shot. The Churchill's crossed the line. Now he's got a red line, which means the rock's in the way. Okay, now the rock isn't in the way. He can dial in, but he's just shooting right over the top of the rock. Direct hit, 196 hit points, 3 critical hits. He's tracked him. He's stationary. He's stuck on that railway line, and he's gone unsighted. That's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And there's a Type, is that Type 58? And he's got behind the houses. And this is awkward, but he can probably get around into him. It's very narrow because he's so close now that it flattens out the trajectory of the shell, and that rock or any other obstruction is going to get in the way. Type 95, weakly armoured. Oh, yes, 373 hit points and takes him out of the game. That's the great thing about hitting weakly armoured heavies like that. You do remove them from the game very quickly. Right, he's almost loaded. KV1, he's going to go for it. Lined up. Rounds out. Direct hit. Okay, we don't know how much damage he did. He's got a 17-second reload. Let's have a look at that KV1. Oh, yes, he is missing quite a few hit points. He's missing at least 130 hit points there. Okay, Sherman. That fell behind him. He moved too quickly once he got over the railway line. But he's now got a T1 heavy, and that's just been taken out. The Sherman will probably use the T1 as cover. But there's the Churchill he hit earlier. And look, it's got a massive, great HE damage hit on the rear. He's been hit by the Panzer 38 AA, so he's going to have to pull back. And the enemy Arty knows where he is as well, and is finding around and taken a chunk of him, or stunned him at least. So he's going to have to relocate. The other good thing about the M44 is it's reasonably fast, but that Type 58 is fairly close. So he's going to have to move far enough away to ensure that he doesn't get hit again. Looks to me like he's just going to go over this rise, or is he going to go out the peninsula? Well, the peninsula is a bit of a trap. If you go out in the peninsula, you're stuck there because you can't move back in, and this rise here means it makes it difficult to fire back onto the cap. So, although he's looking at this moment, this is as far as he can go. There's where the Panzer 38 NA is at the moment, but of course he can't shoot on it. There's 5 enemies and 4 on his team, but from the looks of it, his team are taking a pounding. That Type 58 went down. He'd finally been damaged enough. I think the T-48 did it, but then the Panzer 38 NA, he's actually sitting behind that house for cover. The railway station, I think it is. Right, Churchill 3, very low on health. Should be able to splash him to death. Round out. Oh, he pulled just far enough away. Okay, they've got the advantage now. They've got 1 tank advantage, but the Sherman 3 has gone back to the enemy cap. The Panzer 38 NA is still hiding behind the railway station. Okay, he's bringing the gun, swinging the gun back round again. That's the great thing about the M44. It does have that turret, or little swivel mount inside the actual vehicle, which means you have got a very wide field of fire compared to other SPGs. Yep, the Sherman's definitely defending the cap. Yep, he's not going to be able to hit him from here because he's holding there behind that rock. The Keyhoe keeps looking just to see if he's there. This is awkward. The Jackson spotting for him regards their own cap. He'll be able to poke his nose around and see if the Panzer 38 NA is there. The Jackson's actually got quite a lot of health. The Panzer 38 NA has not. He's very low on health. Right, the Keyhoe's decided he's going to move away from that spot because he doesn't want to get one-shotted by that Sherman. Okay, the Jackson's relocating. Right, there's the Panzer 38. It's been spotted. And he's been taken out by the Jackson. That's good. Right, that just means the enemy now consists of a Hummel and that Sherman. And we don't know where the Hummel is. We've never seen him. Jackson's moving down to support the Keyhoe. And Robbie is now saying check K3 for the Hummel. He thinks the Hummel's... Oh, there's the Hummel! And he's over on the other side. Right, okay. Line him up for a shot. Rounds out. It's going to overfly. Yes, it did. But it stunned him. Oh, dear. They lost the Jackson. Ouch. The Sherman got him. Now, I think the Hummel... There he is. He's been spotted again by the Keyhoe. And hit by the Keyhoe, but he's turned the other way. Oh, that... If he carried on the straight, then Robbie would have got him. But, no... That Keyhoe needs to be careful because otherwise the Hummel will shotgun him. A few more seconds. Oh no, he wasn't careful enough. Round out. That's going to fall behind. It did. Oh dear. So it's just Robbie left against the Hummel and a Sherman. So it's time to pull up the man pants and get to work and carry for his team. Yep. And he's just said, instead of spotting, they suicide. Well, Robbie's going to have to do the necessary now. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to go after the Hummel first. And that's a wise choice. The Sherman is a far more dangerous opponent. So what he needs to do is he needs to shotgun that Hummel. And he has got the means to do it. The M44 is one of the best Arty to shotgun with. Some might say the FV304 is better. I would disagree, actually. The FV304 has got speed, but the problem is that it hasn't really got the punch to take out an enemy tank with one shot. I've actually managed to derp a tier 8 heavy in the rear with my M44, and although it wasn't enough to kill him because he'd lost half his health already, I then ram killed him from behind, and he was most surprised about that. But what Robbie is going to do here is going to try and take on either one or both of these enemy tanks. Hopefully just one will try to enter the cap, and the M44, if he can shotgun them, should be able to take out either of them with one shot. But I would actually go after the Hummel directly, because I think the Hummel's going to be on the west side of the map, and he's probably going to be alone, because I doubt if he's going to actually meet up with the Sherman. The problem with doing that, of course, would be that if he did go out in the open, the Sherman would see him, and he's lining up a shot, and he shotguns the Sherman in the side. Beautifully done. 256 hit points, and now it's a one-on-one with the Hummel. Yes, I was saying that the difficulty is if you go out to the open and you're seen by that Sherman, you would be taken out. He's got a better view range than the M44. View range of an M44 is 320 meters. It's actually quite good for an Arty. But the best thing about it is the shotgun capability. This M44, the 155mm howitzer, is actually quite steady. And so long as you actually keep the vehicle steady, even on the move, you can shotgun somebody on a drive-by. And I've seen that done just recently. TC Freer did a lovely shotgun on the move against an AMX-13 F3 on highway. And you can see that video because it's in the TC Freer playlist. Still no sign of the Hummel. I suspect he's on the west side of the map. Robbie's going to go up to the railway line and have a look. You need to be careful. If he's seen, he needs to get out of there quickly by moving fast forward. You're much faster moving forward than backwards in this Arty. Okay, he's looking where the Hummel was last seen. Nothing there. No, I suspect that Hummel is further north by now. And we know where the Hummel is now. He's in the cap. Well, and he's left the cap. And of course, now Robbie's entered the cap. And that's interesting. Now, it appears to me the Hummel is on his way back over here. Oh no, he's decided to cap again. Well, that's a bit bad for him because the gap now is big enough that Robbie can complete his cap before the Hummel can. And now Robbie's in an Arty safe position. He's right next to that rock. And you can see the Hummel's just fired at the rock and missed. And he's hit the rock at top. He can't loop a shell over into this area. It's totally impossible. This is one of the few places that Arty cannot hit. Unless, of course, you're in the right position. Of course, that Hummel is nowhere near the right position. So it looks to me like Robbie's got this one in the bag. He's won for his team. All he needs to do is just sit there for another 36 seconds and the game is his. Now, I've seen this happen before, actually, in a match. And I actually even saw on one occasion where somebody was capping and the enemy was capping at the other end. And he carefully lined the shot up into the enemy cap. And he saw the tracer from the enemy who was sitting in the cap. And he wiped him out from the other end, from the other cap. But Robbie's being careful. So 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. And he's won! He's won, and that Hummel has lost. Well, I guess the Hummel didn't want to drive all the way south. That's such a pity, but Robbie's won. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's the second class tanker for Robbie 2009 of HAVOC clan in the M44. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 19 in that battle. And he picked up a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. He got a high caliber because he did more damage than anyone else in the battle. And he picked up an Invader because he capped out to win, and he got at least 80 cap points in the process. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, naturally he's highest on the damage table because he got the high caliber, 2,042 hit points. He didn't come top on kills. The Jackson got that before he was wiped out by the Sherman. But Robbie did get second place, or joint second place, with 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, well, yes, of course he was top, 904 base experience points. He fired 15 rounds, got 6 direct hits, 6 penetration, 4 splash damage, damage of 2,042 hit points, of which 1,786 were at more than 300 meters. Obviously that Sherman, which he so lovely dispatched in the cap, in the side, was a lot closer when he shotgunned him. He received 1 hit, 1 penetration, that was from the Panzer 38 NA, and 1 hit as a result of splash damage, and that was from the Hummel. He also damaged 8 of the enemy, but killed 2 of them. And he also did stun assistance damage of 174 hit points off 8 stuns. He also capped out to win, so he got 100 capture points. And on the standard account, he earned 25,977 credits. And after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he had 12,842 credits left. On the standard account, he earned 904 base XP, but it was ×2 for the first victory of the day, so he took away 1,808 XP in total. So well done, Robbie. You pulled up your man pants, you took matters into your own hands, and you won for your team and got 3 epic medals in the process. So well done indeed. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay I'll be featuring in our next video.